You're the guy people call when they need a helping hand, moving furniture, unloading a truck. But lately, your shoulder's been acting up, and you're the one who's calling for help. And that's the moment you realize you can no longer shoulder the load.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for orthopedic care with a range of surgical and non-surgical treatments. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This podcast is brought to you by Sway, artfully crafted, ready-to-drink cocktails from Mad Tree Brewing. This is episode 775, all about sunscreen with Liney Cintrón.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Hello, friends. Before I get into this fantastic conversation with Liney about sunscreen and anti-aging and getting facials and all that fun stuff, I want to talk to you about my Pound This party, baby, because you know what? Liney's going to be there. The medical spa from the Christ Hospital is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Going to have some amazing live podcasts. Lindsay Bonadonna is going to be one of those podcast speakers. Rochelle Fraboda talking about sexual health. Sarah from Team Fit With Me is flying in from Phoenix to be here in Cincinnati in person. Plus, we're going to have so much fun, so much good food. Trilogy Fitness Systems is going to be helping us get some movement in. And then we're going to have lots of great snacks. We're going to have 80 Acres Farms helping out with lunch. And then since we're going to be at Mad Tree Brewing, we're all going to get sways paid for by moi. So that is included with your ticket price, that everybody's going to get 2 Sway drink tokens because it's also a birthday party, because it's also my 40th birthday. So I want to give some backstory of why I wanted to do this event. One, I wanted to do more in-person connecting sort of events. When I started my own business and went out on my own and took legal ownership of this podcast at the beginning of 2020. And then we all know what happened in March. So I wanted to give this space in order to connect. And also for me, it's my 40th birthday. And I'm like, what do I really want to do for my birthday? Do I want to go on a trip? Do I want to eat a fancy meal? Do I want to get like ham boned and super drunk with my friends? I'm like, I want to do something I would be really proud of. I want to create something that I wish that I could go to. I think that's what this event is. It's not just a fitness event. It's not just a food event. It's everything. It's going to be so super fun. It's going to be all encompassing health and wellness. So it's going to be talking about, again, that mental health, the physical health, the sexual health. We're going to have food, but we're also going to have pizza and drinks, and we're going to have birthday cake. And you know what I mean? So it's going to be all encompassing what a healthy life should look like. And that's just living your life in the best ways possible. And you're going to get lots of great information. So I have a link to get tickets to that event. Tickets do go off sale August 1st. So time is ticking away here. And again, big, huge thank you to my sponsors that are part of that, which includes Christ Hospital. Christ Hospital is absolutely amazing. Going to have some pelvic floor PTs and stuff there too. Going to be an awesome crew from Christ Hospital. Huge thank you to New Ethics Formulations. Zeb, if you've been listening to this podcast a long time, Zeb is going to be there, and everybody that's part of Natty Nutrition and New Ethics. Also Aaron and Me Active. Everyone who buys a ticket gets a free pair of leggings, an $88 value. You think Lululemon Athleta quality, except cheaper, and you're supporting a small business owner who is my friend Aaron, who is absolutely amazing. So please get your tickets. I hope that you really can join me Saturday, August 6th at Mad Tree. And again, you're going to get to meet Liney, from this podcast, and Sarah from Team Fit With Me, which if you are looking for a great health coach, you're looking to maybe understand more about macros and nutrition. Maybe you have hormonal issues, you have PCOS, you have Hashimoto's like I do. Maybe you have a hard time with knowing what you should do as far as physical exercise goes and understanding your own body, whatever your goals are, gain strength, lose weight, just be healthier. Sarah is fantastic, and you can save 10% on month 1 of all packages and plans when you go to teamfitwithme.com/poundthis. And of course, you can meet Sarah at the Pound This party. Same thing with Liney. So let's get into this conversation with Liney about sunscreen. Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This podcast. I am Amanda Valentine, and my guest today from the Christ Hospital Health Network is Liney Cintrón. How are you?
Good. How are you, Amanda?
I am great. I'm excited to chat all things skincare with you because I mean my skincare routine comes from Kroger. So
Nothing wrong with that. There's some good stuff out there.
so I have lots to learn. I feel like I can get some sort of tips and tricks from like TikTok and Instagram, but it's great to talk to a professional in the field about, I mean, obviously their skin is our largest organ and taking care of ourselves and skincare. So before we get into some of my questions surrounding that, tell me about you and what you do and how you got to Christ Hospital.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be joining the podcast. So my name is Liney. I am a nurse practitioner. I've been working with Christ Hospital just shy of probably like 6 months now. So still a baby there, meeting lots of great people. And I've been working in the medical aesthetics industry probably a little over the past 2 years now. And I think it's a wonderful field. There's lots of ways we can help people reach their skin health goals, which I love.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know that I really wanted to chat with you about sunscreen. I mean, we're here in summer months and it feels like you can just walk outside and feel your skin frying. And I feel like there can be so much confusion between like the natural sort of sunscreens, your typical sort of like copper tone sunscreens, or the SPF of like 30s and 70s and 120s. It feels like there's just like a lot of options and I don't even really understand what's going on other than, the higher the SPF, I'm assuming is better. And that's pretty much all I know.
Yes. I know there could be lots of confusion out there because I, for one, like when I didn't know much about sunscreen, I would think, well, the higher the better, right? I've seen some bottles promote like SPF 150 plus, or, and there is a certain range that will be just as effective for your sunscreen protection. So you don't really need to go overboard with it. So like, I guess we can start with like the basics, like what is SPF? Like, what does that stand for? So SPF stands for sun protection factor. And those numbers that we see on the bottles, they're rated by just how much exposed skin to the sun how long it would take to sunburn compared to one that has protection. So they would just calculate the amount of time it takes and then slap on the number on the bottle. So like, for example, a bottle that says SPF 30, it just would mean that it would take about 300 times more time for your skin to burn compared to unprotected skin, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So then by having one that's like 150 compared to 30, like, does that just mean you're ironclad, you're completely safe from a sunburn then?
So we wish sunscreen was 100% effective. So unfortunately, it's not 100% effective, even though you might see a bottle that says like 100 SPF protection factor. They typically would be like SPF 15 would protect you about 94%. SPF 30 is about 95, 96%. And then anything that's like SPF 45 or higher, it would protect you about 98%. So you don't really need to go crazy high, like in the 100s to get the protection. If you stay around SPF 30 or higher, you're getting a good protection range right there. The important thing with the sunscreens is that reapplication. So you do want to reapply it every 2 hours because we sweat, it rubs off on our clothes. If you do any outdoor activities, especially any water activities, then that sunscreen that you've applied is going to wear off. So it wouldn't matter if you have SPF 15 to like an SPF 100. That reapplication window of every 2 hours is going to be important because it does wear off.
Yeah, I've been super guilty of not doing that. Well, in a lot of instances. I mean, think of like swimming and stuff like that, but definitely I used to run a lot more than I run now, and I love running outdoors. So I'd go like on a long run and then walk afterwards, and it's like, I know I'm past that 2 hour point, but I didn't like pack some sunscreen on me. Is there any like tips or tricks for that? I mean, I guess you would just maybe get like some of those little packets of sunscreen and try to reapply.
Yes. So I'd recommend try to prepare when you can, for sure. It's best to apply sunscreen at least 30 to 40 minutes before going outside. So then by the time you are exposed to the sun, then the ingredients that are in the product are working for you. Once you're outdoors and doing your activities, have something on the go with you if you know you're going to be spending a lot of time outdoors. and just reapply. So there's lots of convenient packages now. There's sprays. I've seen powder forms. There's in the cosmetic products now as well, some SPF protection. I've even seen small, like little bars that can fit in your purse or in your pocket. So reapplication could be easier. And then just definitely staying out in the shade when you can. Sun protective clothing, so hats, sunglasses are helpful as well, just to give your sun that protection that it needs from the exposure. The other thing that we can look at is on our weather app or in the weather report is the UV index. So that's going to help us know just how severe the UV radiation is going to be that day, in particular, certain times of the day. So typically it's anywhere from like noon to like 3 p.m. is when the sun is highest. So then those sun rays are more powerful, and then that can cause you to have a quicker sunburn. So if you look at those UV index, that's going to help you know, okay, maybe if I am going to be outside, how much protection should I need?
So is there any big difference between using a lotion or a spray or the powder?
No, not really. I think the biggest thing with those is just, like, I'm guilty of it. Like before, when I would use my spray ones, I wouldn't rub it in because the risk with those is just missing a spot. And then you might have one line of protected skin and one side that you kind of burn because you didn't like apply it properly. The Skin Cancer Association recommends for those exposed areas about a shot glass size of sunscreen. So that's about, I believe it's like 1 ounce for those exposed areas. And that will vary person to person, just depending on how much surface area they need to cover. You know, everyone's size is a little bit different, but that just gives us an idea, a rough idea of how much to apply. And then again, with that reapplication, really. So it comes down to a matter of preference. If you prefer lotions, if you prefer sprays, if you prefer another, product that just works for you better, it's just making sure you're spreading it and applying it evenly.
So I've seen that there's like facial sunscreen too. So like, is there a difference between using like a Neutrogena lotion that says like, for facial sunscreen, not that's makeup, that's like in the like sunscreen section versus just like slapping copper tone on your face?
So I would definitely say, like, for acne prone skin, the different sunscreens can make a difference because, it can clog pores. So things that are like mineral based sunscreens that have titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, those are better for sensitive skin or acne prone skin. However, they typically do tend to leave a white cast. But now there's many options out there for sunscreens that have like a little tint to it. So that won't be so much of an issue. I feel like it really does come down for preference. Like for me, for example, I'll use a sunscreen for my body, but then I'll wear a different one for my face to combat other issues like, dark spots, anti-aging, or I just like how it's going to sit better with my makeup, for example, so it doesn't look as cakey. So, there's definitely a little bit of something for everybody out there.
So when it comes to like the makeup with sunscreen, that's what I put on every day. I just have like a tinted sunscreen that I almost kind of just use as like a foundation because I don't really wear too much makeup. So that's just like kind of like my makeup. So I'm assuming like that's something I'm supposed to put on every 2 hours because I don't. I put it on in the morning and then I just like, I'm covered for the entire day.
Right. I'm guilty of that too. I think, we just tailor it to your activity. So if you feel, you're going to be outdoors, then definitely try to do that reapplication. But if you're indoors, not so much. If you can get away with reapplying, at least on your face or those exposed areas, say maybe 2-3 times a day, just depending on what you're doing, then that should be fine. Especially like we often think of sun protection just when we're outdoors, but also when we're indoors, we're exposed to like the overhead lights. We're exposed to high energy devices like our computer screens, our cell phones. Those are transmitting light that, not necessarily will cause like skin cancer, like the UVA and UVB rays. But they do contribute to like the photo aging process, which is contributing to just that accelerated premature aging process. So that's where I would be like, if you're indoors and this is something that you're exposed to quite often, then if you can, ideally, in the perfect world, then yeah, I'd say, if you can, just reapply your sunscreen because it degrades. Like it won't last beyond those 2 hours. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't seem to have the technology to make it last longer than that. So in the perfect world, yeah, reapply. But can it be realistic for most people? Maybe not. So sometimes that's where like the cosmetic products might be a little bit more convenient. Like say you've already applied your makeup and you don't necessarily want to apply like a creamy white cast sunscreen on your face. And there's the powdered forms. I've even seen now the little facial sprays that you can just apply that have a little SPF. So you can just touch up throughout the day as needed.
So in your experience working in medical spas, is it pretty obvious when somebody comes in that doesn't wear sunscreen? Do they just kind of like stick out?
It can be because when we're exposed to the sun often and we're not applying this sun protection, then we're going to have more fine lines and wrinkles and the dark spots. So that can be pretty obvious for someone who's outdoor a lot or loves sun tanning. Then you can definitely see the difference between someone who does wear sunscreen or is not outdoors as often. You can see that stark contrast sometimes. And then there's other factors too. Like I don't want to blame it all on the sun, but genetics of course play a role. And other lifestyle choices like smoking, drinking alcohol, stress definitely can play a role as well.
So speaking of bringing up anti-aging, so let's say that we're wearing our sunscreen, we're being conscious of that. I mean, obviously, like then I think that, people have some sort of skincare routine outside of that. That's where I said, like, mine's very basic. I'm a very, like, Kroger. I just have, like, my face wash and I have, just a night cream. And then I have the sunscreen, our tinted sunscreen I wear in the morning. So it's, like, super basic and simple. But it's, like, because I'm, like, I don't even know what else I'm supposed to use. Like, there's just so many things it feels like overwhelming. Like I don't know what some of these products do. I don't know what I need to put on or what order to put them on. Like if you had to like make your like a short list of like essentials of like this is what we should be using just for skin health, anti-aging, what would those be?
So I agree with you. It can be pretty overwhelming with all the products that are out there, whether in store or online. What you're doing is great. You don't need a overly complicated skincare routine. Your basics. So your skincare cleanser, tailor it to your specific needs. So if you have like acne prone skin, then you might want a cleanser that has ingredients that will help fight that. So like salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide is another great ingredient to use to help just decongest that skin. For someone who has sensitive skin, just trying to find ingredients that will not be overly irritating to that person. And everyone's a bit different. Some people can get very easily irritated with something that has high fragrance. So, basic cleanser that will work for you for that particular need that you may have. The biggest thing for me is we're leaving on our skin to sit on throughout the rest of the day. So like your serums or creams, you want to find ingredients that will fight as much as they can for those anti-aging benefits. So things that are rich in antioxidants like vitamin C is a great one. Vitamin E in your skincare products are great because these are things that are just going to combat the aging process of the fine lines and wrinkles or dark spots that may form. A holy grail, like staple, is retinols or retin-A's. I don't know if you've heard of those like in the market. They can range from prescription grade, so those are pretty stronger ones, but there's over-the-counter options as well that can help combat the aging process. What these will do is just help stimulate the collagen buildup, which is what we lose over time as we age. So if you find in your products these ingredients, that's a good way to start if your focus is going to be like on the aging process. But these are great for acne too. They will help just accelerate that skin cell turnover to help the healthy skin reach the surface as well. And then your sunscreen for everybody. It doesn't matter your skin type. It doesn't matter really your age range. Sunscreen is going to help keep your skin healthy.
So there's been minimal occasions where I've had facials. I would like to have them more often than I do. I feel like a completely different person after I get like a facial done.
Oh, they're so relaxing too.
It's relaxing. It's amazing. Where I'm like, I didn't even realize like I had so many pores until I see them without crap in them. And so, I've never been to a medical spa. I've just gone to, like you think of like your salon spa. So with, you especially think that you're at a medical spa and you're at a hospital. Like what's the difference between seeing you at a medical spa versus just going to like a salon and spa?
So the medical spas, compared to the day spas, they will have medically trained personnel that can operate equipment that only medical staff can operate. So such as laser devices, microneedling devices with radio frequency, or injectables like Botox or dermal fillers. These products can only be used by medical professionals, in contrast to like a day spa where you would get, nice relaxing facials and treatments, but they're not medical professionals. They are licensed as estheticians.
So is the medical spa, is there the relaxing component to that too? Or is it like, we're just here for
Oh,
business?
it can be. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. At the Christ Hospital Medical Spa, if you come in for a facial, I definitely want you to feel as relaxed as well. So we'll definitely play music of your preference to help you unwind and, give you a nice gentle facial massage to just help you relax while you receive your treatment. And then there's the other component too of like just the medical grade skincare products as well that are used in medical spas that differ from like your day spas. Because for these, then again, you just have to have that medical license to be able to use them.
So what would you say, what is your day filled with most? What are your most popular treatments that you do day to day?
Oh, anything anti-aging, really. I feel like we just always want to try and look our best and just minimize these lines and wrinkles. So Botox is a really popular one. It's a quick and easy procedure. You're in and out maybe 10, 15 minutes, and you can use it as a preventative. So even though like someone in the 20s who won't necessarily have any settled wrinkles, they can use it just to prevent it from happening as they age. And then someone who might have already some set like static lines or maybe some deeper wrinkles forming, then we can use it to over time just treat it and soften it to give them a nice youthful glow. And then the other very popular treatment's microneedling. So it's like little tiny needles that go through your face, and then this causes like a tiny little injury, and this helps promote that collagen production that we're building. So as you get treatments, then that collagen that your body has produced will help you fill in those lines and just minimize those lines and wrinkles. And it's great for skin texture too. If someone has concerns with like large pores, then it can help minimize it as well.
So when you have something like that done, do you have to do just small areas, or can you just like needle somebody's whole face?
Oh, you can do the whole face, neck, décolleté. And I know it could sound scary because it's needles, right? But it's a pretty comfortable experience. We would numb you for a few minutes and then just go ahead, and after you're nice and numb, we get the treatment started. So it's tolerance varies by individual, but it's not a painful procedure. I'll say that. I've had clients who sometimes fall asleep during the procedure, and we can kind of tailor the energy level settings because our devices have like radio frequency energy. So besides the little tiny needles, then you might feel like a small little zap, but that little zap is what's going to help with that skin tightening effect from that radio frequency.
So what do you feel whenever you see like news stories where like Kim Kardashian is putting like leeches on her face for anti-aging?
I feel like I want to try it all too. I mean, some things work, some things don't, and I feel like we always want to go the natural route, obviously. I feel like Mother Nature definitely has things in store for us that we can definitely use. So I say, why not? If you feel that it's going to work for you, I always say just try things once. When it does come to skincare things, though, be patient, because some treatments are not like an overnight thing where you might get an instant gratification. Some of the processes do take time, especially depending on where you're starting at and what your end goal would be, right? You might someone might come in with, say, for example, very severe acne. It might be a little bit of a longer process to get them to their skincare goals compared to, say, someone who may have a mild case. So that just goes for like all general like skincare.
And do you know any of the background of this, or am I kind of asking out of the scope here of just even knowing how much like your diet and hydration plays into your skin health?
It really does. I feel like what we're showing on the outside is reflecting our health on the inside, really. So our skin, our hair, our nails, hydration does play a big and important role, and our nutrition as well. I mean, you want to have whole foods rich in antioxidants compared to, regularly eating high processed foods. You're definitely just doing a disservice to yourself, because you're not giving your skin, your body, your health the best chance it can have with just whole foods, right?
Yeah, I definitely noticed a difference from changing my lifestyle habits from where I was before, just eating fast food and just slamming Red Bulls like they were going to go out of business, to drinking water and eating vegetables. My skin like completely changed. And it was one of those things of like, it makes sense, like when you can intellectualize that and you hear that, but then I think when you experience it for yourself and you're like, oh wow, like my skin like has a different glow to it, like it's much clearer. I'm not getting breakouts, and it's because exactly like you said, I'm taking care of the inside versus the outside. So I feel like there has to be that component to it. Otherwise, I feel like you could just get into a trap of burning so much money getting these skin treatments done, where you're just like, if you're counteracting that, if you are just like eating a really improper diet,
absolutely,
and then you're just like, you can't needle that away.
Exactly. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, we're eating constantly, right? I mean, at least 2-3 times a day, drinking water, hopefully throughout that day, or whatever other liquids we're putting into our body. And of course, it's going to project on how we look. Absolutely. Kind of like you mentioned, I had a similar journey for myself with, like, in my case, acne. Like, I really noticed that when I changed my eating habits and lifestyle, that it did improve my skin. Absolutely.
That's awesome. One more question. I want to circle back to the sunscreen real quick.
Yeah.
Is there, like, just thinking if we're going to a Walgreens, a Target, a Kroger, anything like that, and we're just going to pick up sunscreen off the shelf there, are there any brands that we should gravitate to more than others?
I would say it really comes down to your personal preference when it comes to the sunscreens. I feel like whatever sunscreen you like that is going to make you want to use it consistently, that's the brand you should pick. Whether it's because you prefer the consistency of it, maybe it's less greasy, or you like something that's more rich and hydrating, or maybe it has tint, or, it could be something as simple as a smell for you. Just pick something that you prefer. And then besides that, then it comes down to, like, what delivery method do you like? Do you prefer lotions and creams? Do you prefer the sprays? Do you prefer it to be more like makeup? So not necessarily specific brands. I definitely have my favorites, obviously. I don't know if I could mention some, but I mean, like for me, one of my like favorite body sunscreens is like Hawaiian Tropic with like the antioxidants. I just like the consistency of it. I love the smell, that it's not necessarily like a typical sunscreeny, chemically smell. And then for face, I do prefer, for me, something that has a little bit of a tint just to give me coverage. So something like Elta MD or ZO Skin Health has great sunscreens too. So, it's just really preference. I'd recommend, if you're at a store that allows you to test out a product to see if you, like how it feels, how it smells, then definitely try it before you buy if you can, just to make you more likely to use this sunscreen for your outdoor activities and just reapplication.
So there's no real big difference if I went with a store brand versus a name brand?
Not necessarily. No, I mean, it's just a matter of what you like. And then so there are 2 different types of like sunscreens. So I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, there's like physical sunscreens and then there's chemical sunscreens. So Chemical sunscreens work more like a tinted window, sort of speak. So they work a little bit differently. Like once you apply it on your skin, the UV rays hit and it kind of just absorbs it and just like releases it, right? And then we have our physical sunscreens where it's more like a curtain. So it's blocking out those sun rays. And that when it hits your skin, it just bounces the light ray off, right? How would someone know which one to pick really comes down to their activities. Chemical sunscreens do tend to be ones that are water resistant. So if you are going to be doing any swimming, if you know you may be sweating profusely, then definitely reach for a sunscreen that will give you that water resistance, right? Versus like a physical sunscreen, it's better for someone who has more sensitive acne-prone skin. So those don't tend to give you that stinging eye, you know, when you're, say, swimming and then you kind of accidentally rub your eyes. I don't know if you've had that happen when you're like eyes burning. Yep. That's a chemical sunscreen. So that's, you know, if you pick a physical one, those are mineral based typically. So the zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, it's just really a matter of your preference. And some bottles will say it like this is a mineral. Another term you might see a lot on sunscreen bottles are broad spectrum. I don't know if you've seen that on some bottles. Yeah. So what this means, it's going to protect you for both UVA and UVB rays. So UVB rays are the most common ones. They are the ones who cause most skin cancers. And UVA, it penetrates deeper. That one's more responsible for like the photo aging process, for like premature aging. So sunscreens that say that they provide broad spectrum, they're protecting against both those UV rays.
So you'd probably want to gravitate towards that and cover all your
towards one that has both. Yes. So grab a bottle that says broad spectrum SPF because you'll get protection for both.
Awesome. So if somebody wants to make an appointment and come see you at the medical spa at Christ Hospital, how do they find you? How do they find kind of like the menu of everything they choose from, book an appointment, all that stuff?
Yes. So if they log into our website and type in medical spa, our information to book appointments will be on there, and then our service menu as well. If they'd like to make an appointment, they can also call us at 513-564-1393. And I'm Liney. I'll be the one seeing them. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of your awesome information and for giving me your time today, Liney.
Well, absolutely. Anytime, Amanda. It was great talking to you.
You too. You'll have to come shove needles in my face at some time.
Okay, come on. We'll have fun.
AmandaValentineBites.com